Go loco with us. Go loco with adventure. Your unofficial cast to all things local guides.
Hi everyone, it's still Vandana here, and welcome to the second part of the episode 5 of our Go Loco podcast. If you haven't heard the first part yet, I strongly recommend that you listen to that first and then come back to playing this because we have two amazing local guides who have shared their stories. So, what's going to be in this episode, you might all be wondering? Well, you are going to be on this episode. If you can remember, a few weeks back, I had made a post on the Local Guides Connect forum calling for participation from all the local guides and had asked the following 4 questions. What does International Women's Day mean to you? What are your thoughts on how women and girls are represented through current media? Which feature do you use the most in Google Maps and why? If you could request a new feature in Google Maps that would help make the world much safer for women, what would it be? We got a lot of responses from our awesome local guides, so a big thank you from all of us at the Go Loco podcast team. We thought it'll be best if they are played together, hence part 2 of episode 5. So let's jump straight right to it, shall we?
Hi everyone, this is Tracy. I'm a program manager for Local Guides and I live in New York. I'm also a level 10 local guide. I wanted to tell you a little bit about what International Women's Day means to me. So here goes. International Women's Day has always been a really great day to celebrate accomplishments for and by women in the world. But ever since I visited Seneca Falls in upstate New York, it feels even more special to me because that's where the first U.S. Women's Convention was held way back in 1848. It was so cool to visit a place where women had such a huge impact on women's rights. You've asked me what my thoughts are on how women and girls are represented through current media. And I think it's really cool that the fact that books about female engineers exist and conversations around not labeling someone given their gender or clothing happen pretty regularly in the United States. And that makes me hopeful that we'll continue to move forward in not defining what a woman or anyone must or must not be. So to answer the question about what feature I use most in Google Maps and why, I think one of my favorite features is being able to search reviews in the app because it allows me to get right to the things that are most important for me. For example, I was just at Disney World in Orlando and actually got to see Shirley, so hi Shirley, and I wanted to learn what others thought about the parking at my hotel to see if we had similar experiences as they did, and we did, so that was really cool. A lot of information already exists on Google Maps, and features like Explore with lists from local guides and other people like you and me definitely help you to find what you need when you need it. But if I were to request a new feature on Google Maps, it would probably be the ability to see places that are good for solo women as identified by other solo women. This is important to me as a solo female traveler to not only share about the information, but to find it so I can make better decisions about where I go.
Tracy! I'm thrilled to have a Googler responding, and it's very much appreciated that you've taken time out to do this. I love your feature request, and as a solo woman traveler, I can see how useful that would be. So virtual +1 to that feature request of yours. Well, it means a lot to our team, and hopefully we'll get more Googlers participating in the future too. Thank you so much, Tracy. You're the best. Up next, we have Maria from Melbourne, Australia, with her thoughts on International Women's Day.
So, what does International Women's Day mean to me? It is an opportunity to celebrate women and all that we have done and accomplished, the role that we play in the home, in society, in the marketplace. And also, it's an opportunity for us to speak out and speak up against the many disadvantages and even the violence being perpetrated against women and the injustices against women. Women have accomplished a lot of things, but there is still much work to be done. For instance, I would like to see an end to child slavery and child brides. I would also like to see an end to the cruel FGM practices that is still being committed against young girls and women in parts of the world. I would like to also see an end to the objectification of women as sexual objects to be used in the media and in advertisement and in many other ways. Women, we have a voice. United together, we can roar and we will be heard. So International Women's Day, it is an opportunity for us to speak up. Speak up for our sisters who do not have a voice. It is also an opportunity to celebrate along with those sisters of ours who have found their voice. Women, sisters, you are all beautiful. You are wonderful. You are loved. You are wise. You are more capable than you think you are. You have more to contribute to the world, to society, to your home, to the family, to your community in ways that cannot be measured in monetary terms.
Hello everyone, my name is Archit Ojha and I am a level 10 local guide from Raipur, Chhattisgarh in the heart of India, and I was also really fortunate to be an alumni of the Connect Live 2018 that happened in San Francisco. So, International Women's Day for me stands for the united resolute of the 21st century youth towards the solidarity to the gender that gave us birth. Equality in opportunities, right to a dignified life, and most importantly, social justice is what symbolizes the woman of the emerging world to me. When you teach a man, you improve a life. But when you teach a woman, you improve an entire generation. As flag bearers of this millennial generation, a generation that has seen the millennium change and an agent of change, I urge us all to work towards building a safer, supportive, encouragetive, and a positive workplace for the women and girls of tomorrow. If you would have seen the literature of 1940s, you would know the demarcation between the genders was prevalent and was widely accepted. Despite the immense contribution of women, they aren't given an equal footing in the pages of history in almost all the media throughout the ages. But that has changed in the last 20 years or so and has changed for the better. Achievements of women are not just recognized but also encouraged. Taboo topics like menstruation, genital mutilation, marital rapes are expressed and debated openly in the newsrooms of even the developing regions. Just this morning, a movie about menstruation named Period End of Sentence won the best documentary at Oscars. Times 2017 Person of the Year were women who spoke against harassment without the fear of retaliation. Media has been doing an excellent job in making a level playing field, but that is a job that they must have done much, much earlier. A lot needs to change in the way we perceive gender diversity. I strongly feel that having two X chromosomes must not prevent you from achieving your destiny and your rightful place in the society. The most important feature that I use in Google Maps are the reviews. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but a well worded review is worth more than the entire photo album put together. They let us know the reviews of the experiences of people against our own expectations. They sometimes can't be portrayed through pictures. The reviews give away even the tips that people want to express, like take the third elevator to reach the banquet hall directly. Personally, my reviews of public places like hotels, parks include the safety consideration for single women traveling alone choosing to go there, and I try to help them by making tips as to how to reach there and make judicious, well informed decisions much beforehand. I would like to see a one tap button on Google Maps screen that can alert the local authorities plus a set of trusted contacts should a woman feel unsafe while using the navigation feature in Google Maps. Also, I remember the Local Guides Connect event at Hyatt Centric Hotel in San Francisco, where my female colleague asked for advices from the hotel staff for the places she could see. The person printed out a map on which he clearly marked some neighborhoods with a cross stating that these areas aren't safe to stay or even traverse through. I would love to see Google using the same on its app, not just using crowdsourcing but also local authorities' input to highlight certain areas in terms of safety. I'm sure Google has been pondering over it already, and in the Connect Live of 2019, I hope other women who are extensive travelers, like especially Vandana and other alumni, can all point out valuable inputs to make a safer world for women and the world in general. Thank you.
Hi, this is Anthony, a local guide from Barcelona, Spain. I'm just level 8, so I'd like to give thanks to you guys for being proactive about inviting submissions to this podcast from the local guides community about a very special day, International Women's Day. Before I start, I just let you know that I graduated in social anthropology and have a deep understanding of the causes, global social, cultural implications by elevating and recognising women's rights, equality and justice. I'm going to hopefully cover the present state of women's rights and what the day means to me. Hope to I'll throw in a success story and end with a final poignant thought. The movement itself is geared towards equality, but the success of this movement should be more to unequivocal gender acceptance. Equal rights is just tolerance, but tolerance just lets biases ferment, and the problem just goes elsewhere. It doesn't resolve it. And we see this in many developed cultures, equal pay and senior career mobility. And what we see in the papers is a testament that even in developed cultures, we still have a long way to go. In terms of recognition of this day of celebration of what it means to me, I really want to kind of like establish that if we don't actually change our approach to acceptance, we are rejecting global changes in so many fields, be they like scientific to artistic, that could actually be a game changer for the human race. And I'll give an example. I'd like to mention a female doctor, Dr. Sherry Stabler, and she actually has a cure for diabetes. Yeah, a cure. It's a chronic condition which I actually have, and she's developing this kind of like mini implanted organ. It's called a DRI biohub, which is kind of like a microchip that mimics the pancreas by sensing glucose levels and producing insulin in real time. And just to give you an idea, if like we didn't allow people like this to get to that level, there are global consequences. I mean, just in 2006, there's like 1.6 million deaths directly related to diabetes, and there's another 2.2 million related to high glucose levels. And what this great woman is achieving is that there's around about 425 million diabetics in the world. And just to make this visual, if you imagine if you stood finger to finger 4 times around the world with all these diabetics, you still have about 50 people million left over. So you create 4 full circles around the globe. Now, this is a success story, but there are many other game changers which never saw the light of day. And for me, this day recognizes not only the people who, let's say, have like recognition and we can draw influence from them, and these people can become our mentors, but it's also the people that didn't actually have their story like said, and the people who still suffer from gender discrimination. I've been asked, what feature requests for Google Maps could I suggest to make the world a much safer place for women? This is actually a little bit more trickier than first appeared to me. I'll explain. Media portrays violence against women is something which actually happens when they're outside their house. And quite often we see things in the media that's related to certain areas, places people shouldn't go, etc., etc. Now, the fact is that the areas get an unfair stereotype and stigma, which is associated for long after an event has actually happened, as tragic as it is. But it's not the whole story. The media actually frequently overlooks the unprecedented amounts of domestic violence happening all the time. Now, just to give an example, in my native United Kingdom, 2 women are killed by the partner every week, and that's just as in England and Wales. Out of all the female homicides, around about 40% are killed by gendered violence, while only 24 of these instances are actually reported. Now, my feature request, how would I make it a lot better? I would have it in the main menu. When you open up Google Maps, you see like a little map, and then you have the little explore, and then it says the area you're in. Normally it's just things like restaurants and historic places. I would like a new icon in there simply called Your Rights, and it can touch on topics that empower women, places where they can go to report violence, and what they should do, places maybe where they can go to get like housing between A and B, whatever's actually needed to get them out of situations of domestic violence. And how I see this is actually happening is you touch your rights, You get like another screen with lots of different icons, and you can actually subscribe to the channels which actually interest you. It can also include other topics, including like drug, alcohol addiction, getting social housing, work rights, etc. Now, I think posts can be done by local guides about, let's say, more personal stories, what actually happened to them, and what was the result. But how-to should actually come from the horse's mouth. That means directly from a legal body or help centre. And this should be done via some form of collaboration. I believe getting this form of collaboration, we can go there as local guides, present ourselves, meet a spokesperson, and I reckon their PR department would actually jump on this. And I don't think it'd actually be very, very hard to do. Maybe there can be a new achievement. If you listen to me, Google, I would love this achievement. So, hey, why don't you challenge me, guys? If this gets put forward, then I would love to be one of the first people to go out there, approach people, and get it done. So, tell me what you think, and that's it. Thank you very much for inviting me on, and hopefully you two can help change the world by petitioning and sending stuff to companies and organizations to make sure that the change is for the right. It's all for us, humanity. Have a great day. Peace and love from Barcelona. Anthony out. Bye.
Thanks, Maria, Archit, and Anthony. Very, very thought-provoking stuff indeed. It certainly is great to hear what you all have to say, and I love your feature requests too.
Hi, everyone. This is Kimberly Ann Graham from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I want to weigh in on the question, what does International Women's Day mean to you? So, as someone who was born in 1963, the women's liberation generation was very much part of my upbringing. My family has always been a matriarchal one for at least the 4 generations I know of. Women lead in my family, and it's difficult when society doesn't reflect that. I was raised believing I could be anything. Reality was that women still face glass ceilings. I am heartened by companies like Google that I see making huge efforts to give women a chance. They do it through all of their outreach, encouraging young women to think about careers in tech. They invite women to Google I/O, trying to bring up the percentage of women. I think last year it was up to 23%, which is a huge gain over the last 4 years that I have gone to I/O. I hope to see my daughters benefit from these kinds of programs and a brighter future for women and their families everywhere. One of my newest favorites is location sharing. I've been using it for a while, but recently I've started using it a whole lot more. Most people's initial reaction is that it's creepy, and I tell them, not if you use it correctly. I share my location on an ongoing basis only with my family, and that's for my safety. If something should happen to me, my phone sharing its location could be a life-saving thing. I also love to use it when meeting up with friends for big events. Not at all hard to find someone in the middle of a crowded street festival when you have both shared location. Just go towards the blue dot. It's a super fun feature in that it makes attending those kind of things a lot less stressful. So there you have it. That's my favorite.
My name is Pavel Sarwar. I am a level 8 local guide from Malaysia. Thank you so much for this appreciable initiative. I would like to answer all your questions. International Women's Day means to me is celebrating women achievement. This is nothing new. The research has found that women representation in popular media has become more and more sexualized over the last 40 years. So it's a shame. We need to change this culture. We need to present our women and girls in media very properly. I think women and girls is not a product. So current media represent them as a product. But we need to represent them as our mother, as our sister, as our wife. We need to appreciate their achievements. We need to give them supports. Personally, I love traveling, taking photos, and eating at different restaurants. As a traveler and explorer, I use Google Maps almost every day. In Google Maps, I use actually every day for my traveling, visiting different places, making my travel plan. And I love to discover new places and I love to take photos. And mostly I love to upload photos in Google Maps. This is one of the best feature for me. If I can request to improve something in Google Maps for women, so it will be better if women can share their live location with trusted contacts, because the world currently now is not totally safe for women. Sometimes women face some difficulties, some problems. So it will be more better if the girls can use one feature from Google Maps where they are now. They can share their live location through the Google Maps with their trusted contacts, her family members, or any trusted local guides. Thank you so much.
Hi all, I'm Mohammad Salman Nawaz, a level 8 local guide from Bengaluru, India. Let me answer this question. What does International Women's Day mean to me? International Women's Day is so special to me because it is my mother, a woman who gave me birth, who loves me, who showed me the world and taught me to respect this world and see this world in a positive manner, and taught me to respect each and everyone. It is my mother who cares for me, who loves me, who supports me, who makes me feel happy, who knows the worst side of me and still loves me. I'm thankful to Almighty to have my mother and have my sister, and without them, my life would have been empty. I would take this great opportunity to thank each and every woman who ever played a part in my life till now, as my friends, as my colleagues, and thank you so much. I can say Happy Women's Day for all of you. And let me come to the next question. If I could request a new feature in Google Maps that would help make the world much safer for women, what would it be? For this one, what I can prefer is if Google Maps has an option like a trusted contacts, it would be much helpful, I think. What I'm suggesting is like in Google Maps, one user can add another user as their trusted contacts. Then, if any suspicion happens to one user, it would notify the other user so that the other user can act accordingly. For example, if a woman enables that setting, then add a trusted contact to a family member in her phone. Then, if a woman is traveling with her vehicle or else in any vehicle, since Google Map will see the location, if there is any suspicion, like the general route to travel will be differing suddenly, for example, on that day, if that mobile location is traveling to different route, but it has to travel to another route as of every day, so in that case, it will notify the that trusted contact user like this user location is totally different, so that they could call and confirm whether everything is safe or not. If any other like that location stopped in somewhere location, in any case, so these possibilities, if it notifies to that user, they can act accordingly. So I think this option will help women to be safer through Google Maps. Thank you so much for this great opportunity and wish you all happy Women's Day. Thank you.
Thanks, Kim, Pavel, and Salman, for your thoughts and ideas. Can I just add that you can already set your location sharing to specific groups of trusted contacts so that they can see your exact location all the time? Maybe this is something that we can expose more in a Connect post so that more people are aware of this useful feature. Alright, folks, we're on to our last batch of submissions and we have our very own Linnea from Stockholm, Sweden to round things off.
Every day, women around the world are murdered, tortured, raped, abused, and controlled just because of the fact that they are women. I'm talking about men's violence against women. Men's violence against women that gets 13 women murdered in Sweden every year. Men's violence against women that gets about 100 women raped each day in Sweden. This is making me crazy. I want to fight. I want to start a war. I want to defend myself, my girlfriends, and all the women out there. No woman should never be afraid when she walks home. No woman should need to be scared and insecure in her own home. The home that currently is the most dangerous place for a woman. We need to let go of everything else and start focusing on this. If we're not doing everything we can, we're not doing enough. One woman is one woman too much. 98% of all sexual abuse is committed by boys and men. This means that men are the ones who can make a difference. Men are the ones who can change the macho culture that glorifies dominant behaviors, violence, and the oppression of women. I beg you, and I recommend, that you should take that chance. Men's violence against women has got to end. Now.
A happy International Women's Day to you all. Hello everyone, this is Pooja Boy from India, Local Guides Level 8. For me, this day means giving platforms to women to voice their thoughts, an occasion to rejoice the economic, cultural, educational, social, and political achievements of women, and to contemplate what to achieve next. Reading a huge set of books from brave women writers, I believe that media is improving in its portrayal of women and girls. Though stereotypes still exist, but the increasing presence of women in media is promising and gives hope. I mostly add pictures to Google Maps that show the hidden beauty of a place. I try to provide a reason to why one must visit that site. If I can add a feature to Google Maps, then it would be a feature that shows how much a place has improved its conditions based on the reviews given by the visitors. Thank you so much for having me here and have a good day.
I think International Women's Day is an opportunity to celebrate the outstanding work of those strong women around the world who are fighting for women's rights and trying to paint a picture of a gender-neutral, balanced world. For me, it's about rejoicing the efforts of our community and finding ways to connect and respond both spiritually and physically. I think women are still presented as objects on media, which is quite disturbing. I do believe that there is not a balanced representation for women on media, whether it's the developed world or the counterpart. If we try to look at the monolithic media representation of women, we still see a number of issues and social causes, such as pervasive gender inequality, the economic injustice, the gender parity, and we also see violence, harassment, and abuse. And most of these issues are left unheard until or unless something very scary happens. I still find it disturbing that women need channels like Me Too hashtags to get their voices heard, and when female activists try to address these problems, we see the global media questioning their very need and authenticity, which happens in every part of the globe. So, in my opinion, yes, there is a shift. We see changes for betterment, but still, women representation of media is unfortunately unbalanced. Oh, I absolutely love the attractions nearby feature in Google Maps. I use this feature a lot because I travel a lot, I see new places, and this feature gives me a quick insight into what to explore for every new city that I visit. I've been asked to respond to an amazing question. I think that's a brilliant question about requesting a new feature in Google Maps that would help to make the world a much safer place for women. I think that is an excellent question. What I think and what I would like to suggest is a friends and family location sharing that sort of works in a panic mode. For example, it is quite obvious that you do not want to share your live location 24/7 with your spouse or with your family, but wouldn't it be nice to have a panic mode feature on Google Maps that automatically enables live location sharing with your family, or perhaps puts you on the map for that period of time so that every user on Google Maps around that area knows that someone needs help. But with the touch of a single button, we will be able to let our friends and family or the loved ones know that we need help. And if we see such red dots on the map in panic mode, I think, and even the law enforcement agencies, they will know that someone at X location needs help, and with the help of this live location feature, they can track us and perhaps maybe able to help the individual.
Hey everyone, my name is Adrian. I am a local guide from Malaysia, but currently based in Manchester, UK. When I think about International Women's Day, I think about my mom, my sister, my female friends and relatives, and what life could have been different for them if there were true gender equality in this world. I think about missed opportunities, as well as opportunities taken away from them. And I think about how the world is structured in such a way that girls from a very young age are brought up to think that they should behave in one particular way, while boys can behave in a different kind of way. From that personal perspective, it is easier for me to understand the importance of International Women's Day. But if I were to be honest, I think I'm only scratching the surface, and there's so much more for me to learn and understand because there's so many things in life that I've taken for granted. I feel that women are not always properly represented in media, and that a guy's opinion still counts for more, even though the facts say otherwise. I would like to see more women role models being highlighted on social media because I think it is very critical that women of all ages from all over the world should have good role models to be inspired by and to aspire to. I am an electronics engineer, and in my world, I am surrounded by guys. I find that depressing because I feel that we are denying girls from appreciating the joys of science and engineering. The Google Maps feature that I use the most is the transit feature. Every morning when I wake up, I get a gentle reminder on my phone about when the next tram is going to arrive at the nearest station to me. I find it really helpful because I'm not a morning person, and I absolutely struggle to get up, to get ready for work, and to get out on time. So this feature is really helpful. Manchester is actually a very small city, and I roughly know where everything is, so I don't use Google Maps to find places because, well, I know where they are. As a local guide though, I do use Google Maps from time to time to explore new areas to see if anything interesting pops up that I'm not aware of, but I still very much prefer to just walk the streets and explore using my own 2 feet and eyes. My Google Maps feature request would be for Google to work with local authorities and incorporate information such as where crime was reported so as to create a heat map of dangerous areas. You don't necessarily have to surface this information, but maybe incorporate it into your walking directions so that the route suggested can avoid bad areas. Maybe have a feedback button that users can press to indicate that the place that they are walking through does not look safe and that others should avoid. Well, this has been a very interesting exercise, and I hope that it doesn't just happen once a year. For all the guys out there, ask your female friends about their thoughts on gender equality. Keep your mind and hearts open. Think about what you can do to help change that narrative and bring more positive female voices to the front. Think about your mom, your sister, nieces, daughters, and what you want their futures to be.
Thanks again. It's great to hear your take on this important topic. I really enjoyed what you all had to say, and there are so many great ideas on how to make Google Maps an amazing tool for women's safety. We will, of course, pass on all your ideas to Googlers for their consideration. For all your listeners out there, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have your own feature request that wasn't mentioned here? Please join us on Connect where we can discuss this further. Before we end this show, here are a few parting thoughts. Let every day be International Women's Day. Why just have one day in the year to celebrate their achievements, right? So how can we as local guides do this? If you come across an inspiring woman's story, share it on the Local Guides Connect forum and spread word so that more people can get to know about it. Last year, Google introduced a new feature where businesses can identify as owned, led, or founded by women by enabling the women-led attributes from their Google My Business dashboard. As local guides, if you come across a place that are either owned, led, or founded by women, and that attribute is missing on their business, please let them know about this feature so that they can add it from their Google My Business dashboard. Similarly, you can use the hashtag women-led, women-owned, or women-founded when you're leaving a review on Google Maps because they support hashtags. And if I can add a personal request to everybody, please be mindful of the usage of the term like a girl. Let it be to describe something empowering rather than an insult. Just before I sign off, we have one more announcement to make. So let's hear it.
Hey everyone, we hope you're enjoying the podcast. Just want to let you know to mark your calendars. On March 20th, I'll be hosting episode number 6. I'll be talking to the amazing Paul Pavlinovich. So join us for a fun little chat about all things local guides. Find out what Mr. Paul is up to these days. We'll chat about his worldwide 36 photo walk and how you can still join the fun in your corner of the world. We'll also be talking about Street View and how you can contribute, photography tips for maps, and of course, Connect Live 2019.
To everyone who is listening, we love feedback. We're constantly looking at ways to improve the show and make it more impactful and meaningful. So if you have some thoughts and suggestions, feel free to write to us, or even better, just sound off in a voice clip and email it to golocopodcast@gmail.com. That is GOLOCOPODCAST@gmail.com. Also, please subscribe to our channel and share it within your social network. From all of us here, let's guide.
Go loco with us, go loco with adventure, go loco with us, go loco with adventure. Your unofficial cast to all things local.